Hey everyone, I'm Rather Go here, back with more Crusader Kings 3. We're still playing on our second, well, technically third ruler, High King Einar Onundarson. We're 63, we're melancholic and infirm. But we do have a pretty good doctor trying to cancel that out, and the strong blood leaves us at an overall poor health. We're gonna die relatively soon, and we really want to get our piety up to around 8,500 to properly reform this religion that we have, and to an organized and powerful religion. And I covered that in the previous video. When we do it again, when we actually reform it in this video, I'll talk about it in more detail. And that assumes that we don't die. We need to sacrifice, on average, like 50 piety a person. We need to sacrifice about 50 people. That's not that bad. Takes a while, but it's not that bad. We can do it in 5 years tops. In the previous videos, we've made our empire. We just switched over to having king vassals. We have a king of Sweden, of Scotland, of Brittany. And those make up the majority of our vassals. We have a big major duke of Northumbria for our English vassals. We have a couple of minor vassals from the Norway region. But most of our vassals are kings now, and it makes it a lot easier to manage our vassals. There's just a lot less of them, so it takes less effort to make individual people happy to cover all the bases. Coming over to succession, you can see I'm voting for Jarl Geneseed right now. Apparently he has some land. What land do you own? Viking, actually. Land that is appropriate to own. That's wonderful. So I might keep him my heir, even though he's not going to be necessarily the best person to play, because he is 30 at this point, just to get that land back. But as you can see, I'm at 9 of 9. It's really not a big deal. You probably can't even afford to keep the land. His stewardship is so bad. Let's go over to my pen people real quick. There are several people here that are pinned because they have generally good traits. I don't actually want to keep them. This kid is a genius. I think this kid is also a genius. And I don't actually know why you're pinned. Oh, because you have 21 martial and I'm supposed to make you a shield maiden. That would be it. But right now, Chieftain Anunder is Herculean, fecund, and intelligent. He's got crazy diplomacy and good prowess, but not great martial. He's not insane. What I really want is for this handsome, genius, legitimized bastard to take the throne and give me an incredibly long life to work with. Is being named Bergthor like the Scandinavian equivalent of being named Bertrand? It feels so similar to me. Anyway, I want to see if I can get everyone to vote with me on this genius 8-year-old. So I've cast my vote on both of them, on Norway, which is my main holdings of my king title, as well as on my empire. We need to see if everyone else follows or if I need to change back to Geneseed or somebody else that has more popular support. Now, taking a quick look at our military, I want to sit on my hands for just a little while to let them tick back up to 500. That was instant. All right, cool. They regenerate very quickly. Wasn't quite expecting that. So previously, I saw that all of Wessex was burnt, France was burnt, Aquitaine was burnt. I just burnt Asturias and Iberia. Going around to the east coast of Iberia takes a while, and then we have to come back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my raiding by declaring a war on this guy for the Duchy of Mallorca. Come down here, move our rally point over, and raise everybody as close as we possibly can. Control-click to raise all here. My court poet just died of leprosy. It happens. I can create the Kingdom of Denmark? Hold up. That sounds radical. How'd that happen? I mean, sure. I'm gonna grant the guy who's making the Kingdom of Denmark the title King of Denmark. Congrats. Anyway, what was that about a war? Are we trying to raise troops or something? So even with 15,000 levies, it still counts us as excellent troop quality. That's pretty sick. Once again, as always, we just don't want to use the Jorms Vikings. We're gonna let them stand down until we have some dire need of them. Okay, so now we have several different armies. There's one elite army at 3,000 and then 4 shittier armies that are just under it. We're gonna send all of them out to Mallorca together. The elite army can land wherever the opposition is going to be, and then everything else can be handled elsewhere. The plot was forced to cancel? Why? I've got a really good grandson, and handsome, intelligent, and robust. And I can't... Oh, because I'm at war. Yeah, I just completely forgot you can't have lots while at war. Rip. You can have them while raiding, though. That's not real war. My food taster just dropped dead. That's not great. We're gonna take this elite army and have it land where the opposition is. One of our small armies goes around, another one goes there. This one goes here. And you go around too, because it'll probably be the thing that takes the longest to do. This is gonna be a very quickly ended war. They're stack wiped, they're gone, they're dead. Oh! My health appears to have gotten much worse recently. It still only says poor. Okay, let's do a quick check of my succession. And if we can make a better religion now, because maybe I don't have a choice in the matter. I'm so strong at voting that I am getting Norway, but not the Emperor title. So who's winning? We're gonna cast our votes for Gene Seed then, just so that we're in control of who we play as, because we don't really have an alternative. The kid's a great spy master. Let's send him to a good spy master. There we go, perfect. And this war is not gonna last long. Oh, also, we appear to have captured somebody valuable. Nope, we just got max war score from a single fight. Okay, cool. Oh, this is like a castle, or not a castle, but a town, so we don't actually raid that one. 76% on the first siege finished. Oh, hey, their army's coming back. All right, that'll be the war. Did I just capture someone important? Because if I did, I'd rather execute them. Execute them for 100 piety. All right, cool. We can still get 100% war score. Oh, wait, I actually need these people on my land. Because the whole point of this is that this is going to be our base of operations for raiding. And now we can actually have that grand blot I was talking about earlier. It's going to be the best blot anyone's ever had. Oh, whoops. I just clicked the bottom one thinking that was the best one. That was the one where you give up and don't even have a blot. Anytime there's a rightful liege pop up, I'm just always doing that. I'll create the Duchy of Mallorca, why not? And coming over to the King of Brittany, who just gets all this shit land that he really probably does not want. Congratulations on Mallorca, it's your problem. I remember raising Signy ages ago. She was always getting into shit. She has 21 prowess. Hey kid, you want to be a shield maiden? You seem like you would be great at it. They grow up so fast. Let's find her a spouse real quick. Bjornulfur has managed to make it to 74. He's not good anymore, but he's alive, damn it. So the only good traits we have are this quick 16-year-old, so go for it. And all of my raiders are heading out to where they need to be. My truce has ended early, whoever I had a truce with. Somebody formed a hybrid culture, what a scrub. And we're just gonna be working our way up this entire coastline, I think. My son, not a great one, thank God, has gotten pneumonia. Just hopefully he'll get better on his own. You already made it worse, even though I told you not to do too much, good job. I'm gonna go ahead and tell my counselors to make Upland better, because I do have that territory. I just also don't think it really matters in the grand scheme of things. The blot's finally here, we're doing the best blot possible. At this point, I'm basically terrified of dying, and I can almost make an acceptable faith. This still makes me the head of the faith and has equal genders. It doesn't change over to polygamous, because that's 200 more piety. That's really a drop in the bucket in the grand scheme of things, so now I'm 300 short. Switching over here is 600 piety, and it just like doesn't really matter to me. Adultery doesn't really matter to me, like it's 400 each, that's another 800. I'm so close to being able to do it now, and I'm terrified of dying. I don't have any prisoners either way, so even with the bare minimum, I can't do it just yet. All right, getting back into it from that last clip, I believe, yeah, I'm building up piety to reform my religion. If I sound a little bit out of it going forward, I had to stop recording because I was starting to get a migraine. I dropped a save here right before I started raiding. And I'm not in pain right now, and I want to record, but I feel a little bit disoriented still. Anyway, we have people to rob, places to execute, or something like that. So these first three are already done, they're moving up along the coast, and that's just the plan all the way down. Grand blot's happening, finest sacrifices around, people and plants, or people and animals. Yeah, brain's kind of there, brain's kind of there. It's trying. The grand blot's happening, and I want to dedicate this to Odin to get the maximum amount of prestige. This raid has 12 days left, leading is going to take 11 days, so we're going to let a couple more days pass. I'm on 5 times speed, that happens real fast. Huh. Why is this guy not raiding? He's not at, like, max money at all. There is raid loot here. Why are you defective? Is it the tile, or is it him? This guy is also not raiding. Oh, am I somehow allied with Aquitaine? Is that what's happening? Definitely not. They've recently been raided by me. Am I somehow allied with the specific guy who owns this land? No, I've never even heard of him. I'm not sure why I'm struggling to raid this stuff around here, but I'm just gonna, like, continue on and act as though nothing weird is happening. Alright, this guy is still not raid. It's gotta be something with this guy's land. I don't know why it is that I can't raid him, but I'm not gonna worry about it too much. I'm just gonna make sure everyone gets out of here. and move on to the next guy. It is deeply frustrating because I'm sort of on a clock here. I'm gonna die soon. Alright, we're just all leaving and going into Aquitaine somewhere else, see if we can raid there, because I'm not quite sure why I can't raid this guy. This is still not getting raided. Why? Well, because this one's already been burnt down. That's a fair reason. We've just been walking through it for so long since we successfully pillaged it. It took a second for that to process what had happened. Okay, fair enough. This kid I'm raising can be trusting, content, or fickle. They all suck. I'm gonna go ahead and go with trusting, I guess. Can we murder prisoners? We can murder this guy for 100 prestige. We can murder this guy for 50. That guy for another 50. You for another 25. I'm gonna go ahead and just gain 30% more dread, I think. Because, I mean, I'm gonna get a lot of dread from this. May as well rack it up a little bit faster, right? Not really important. What matters is capturing and executing. Is this place already burnt down from us walking through it? No. But the other two are. Alright, we're moving on into Burgundy, I guess. Oh, we're gonna... Burgundy's never dealt with us before. They don't know what's coming. This is gonna get real messy real fast for them because they're gonna try to come stop this. One of my kids needs a guardian, and while I'm still alive, I'll do my best to raise them. And those prisoners are 100% not getting released. Not tyranny. Still not tyranny. They might be children, but it's still not tyranny to execute them. That's what Thor would have wanted, really. Alright, it's been several hours since the previous clip. I have just enough faith that I can reform my religion right now. And I started looking at my realm and trying to think really critically while I was still in the post-migraine malaise, and I could not do it. So I'm going to try to explain the issues we face now rather succinctly. First, let's talk about reforming the religion, because we're always doing that right now. We're able to do it, it's the best thing we can do. Real quick question, what do I get for conquering the last two holy sites? A punch of flat prowess and stewardship to my main characters. And longer supply duration. I mean, I may as well do it just to have done it, but it's not important. Let's go to reforming the faith. We're keeping Blot because... Do we really want to keep Blot? Like, Blot's nice for the plus opinion of your major characters of all the kings, and the piety from sacrificing. But the piety from sacrificing is mostly just for changing the religion in the future. There's an argument for going for pursuit of power for tyranny gain minus 50%. We're gonna get into why I might care about that a lot in the near future. But honestly, I don't think it matters, and there's a very good chance I'm gonna have someone else come after me and reform the faith more, so I'll need the piety from Blot anyway. Patron gods, however, does get swapped out for unrelenting faith. We need to be equal, we need lay clergy so that we can be temporal, and this is incredibly important, we want to be a fundamentalist. This is going to give us a much higher conversion rate, and it's going to make it so that we can revoke the titles from anyone we're conquering, because they're obviously not going to be our religion, without incurring tyranny. This is going to be very important for reasons we're about to get into, but I already wanted it before I realized this. Divorce is allowed, concubines can go out to polygamous, bastardy, I think that's the full 7,000, yes. Theoretically, I would want bastardry to be no bastards, cousin marriage to be unrestricted marriage, and both adultery for male and female to be accepted. But that'll have to be the next guy because we're just out of points. However, I do want this to be like a vaguely similar color here to what I'm using and to what the Byzantines are using. So this is going to be our new religion. It's pretty good. It's much improved. We can do holy wars now. All of our knights are better. It's great. The old faith will consider me a stray. However, all of my family and every single king of our religion, which, you know, everyone who matters then, are reforming. So it doesn't matter. We reform the faith. And this means that we've just taken the temple at Uppsala, so we need to get rid of this. We don't want this at all. We're just gonna give it to some random person who doesn't matter. If we go down to Bjorg here, she's a nobody. She's a low-born person with high learning. And it has to be a nobody because if they don't have Upland, and I have Upland, then they can't have it. And I can't give away Upland because I made Upland my capital like an idiot. It doesn't really matter that Upland's my capital, but it really doesn't make any sense that it is since all my other territories over here. I have too few spouses, but let's be real, I have too few years left in my life to care about that. Now, let's talk about the serious problems we face. First though, let's talk about the big mistake I made. I made all my piety by just, you know, raging through Europe, stealing everything that wasn't bolted down, and then sacrificing everything I'd stolen that had a pulse. And that did get me like 4,000 piety in 2 years, so it was pretty good, let's not pretend. However, I could have just like baited people into attacking me. I could have went to Paris, waited for him to come at me with 6,000 men and killed them all. Went to the Pope, waited for him to come at me with 5,000 men, killed them all, and they would have. They'd have thought they'd have won. They'd have been like, oh, we outnumber him 2-1, and then they'd have been stack wiped in under 3 seconds, right? And then when you kill those guys, you don't just get fat stacks of prestige, you get 1/4 that value in piety, and it would have been much faster and also much funnier to reform my religion by just crushing the armies of every single Catholic king. That would have been great. Would have been way more efficient. Didn't realize that was an option at the time. The big issue we have right now is I'm about to die, we're about to go into succession. And it's not that my empire is going to fracture on succession. You can look here, we're all voting for Gene Seed, we all agree. Even on the Kingdom of Norway, but that doesn't really matter. Kingdom of Norway honestly does next to nothing for me. It's just a small amount of prestige per month for having the king title. But if you look at titles lost in succession, you'll see it's 10. Which 10? This duchy and all 9 of my counties. What I'll be passing on is my High Kingdom, my Kingdom, the Filkerate, and nothing else. See, Gene Seed already has 2 counties, so as far as partition's concerned, everyone else needs to get up to 2 before he gets anything. So he gets none of my land, which is unfortunate. I had previously thought that since I inherited all 4 of these with the Kingdom of Norway, that getting the king title meant I would get all the counties in that kingdom. That is not how it works, and I'm not quite sure why I got these previously, because I'm certainly not getting them now. So let's talk about how to solve the succession issue. Because obviously voting hasn't solved it. I thought I had found a culture to work around, and I absolutely have not. Option 1, this is always a fail-safe option, no matter how badly I mess up, we'll always have this option. Sure, I lose all my territory, but I'll keep my knights. Not all at once, I'll only be able to use like 10 of them, but I'll still have some knights, I'll still have 3,000 Varangians. I can just go conquer as many new tribal counties as I have domain, and then spend the next 10 years raiding and building up the war camps and getting back to where I was. It sucks, I lose 10 years off of every ruler's life basically, but the big thing rulers do is once per lifetime, 1 kingdom, 1 subjugation, holy wars on cooldown. A specific 10 years is actually not that valuable, so it's not the worst thing in the world to have to do that. However, another option is screw all this, screw the war camps, convert to feudalism, but then you don't have war camps, you say. Well, if you travel across the world to desert regions or floodplains or jungles, you can build war elephant buildings or camel buildings, and those are specific regional buildings that are essentially just regional war camps that you can use at feudal tech levels. So if I do need to convert to feudalism for better succession, we can just go on an odyssey across the Mediterranean to get land that will allow me to do that. I can get away with this. I can find a solution where somehow, some way, somewhere, we're getting our bonus knights in a good succession system. Because I do consider this to be a fairly inconvenient thing to have to do this. However, like I said, it's the fail-safe. See, I have this Kingdom of Norway, and I want to give this to somebody. Somebody specific. Well, not specific, but something about them is specific. That they're not part of my religion. You see, normally it would be nonsense to give someone who's not your religion an entire kingdom. Much less basically all your land, because I'm going to give them every county in the kingdom too. I'm going to give them everything except for Uppsala and Sweden, which I will lose on succession. Now, why is this? That seems like complete insanity. Well, you see, as a fundamentalist faith, I am still allowed to give Christians my titles. But if I were to revoke them from a hostile... Wait, what's a hostile infidel? I didn't see these tooltips say hostile and evil infidels. What makes them hostile or evil? Oh, alright, yeah. Hostile infidels just means they have another faith. All other faiths are hostile. Good. We're on the same page. Alright, nothing's gone wrong. So I can still give Christians titles when I'm old and about to die. And then I can, expedite my death. I can just do a quick search, find character, just like everyone, sort by prowess. This Jarl Engi fellow is the best in the world at 40. I'm like, hey dude, actually I can't just challenge him to a fight for fun. Well, that's unfortunate. Hopefully in the world I find a way to kill myself more consistently, but for the time being, I'm 65 and in poor health, that's good enough. So the plan, if I don't have a real succession system like a tribal society does, is to give all of my land, except for whatever shitty capital I have outside of my land. So it's actually correct to move my capital away to a bad place, I guess. Give all of it to some Christian guy somewhere else that doesn't have any other land. And then pretty much immediately die. Go to the next character and revoke those titles. He might put up a fight. He won't win. So he's essentially just being like temporary title storage. Let's put this theory to the test. I can actually do something even better than this. I can sort them by age. get an absolutely ancient person who's going to die very soon and doesn't have heirs. Raimundo, the 61-year-old thinker. I can give him everything, right? Give him all the chiefdoms, the jarldom, and the kingdom. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. I can actually give him this title as well. I can make him the head of the Norwegian faith, which would be very confusing for him. I won't be doing that one. But I'm going to grant him all those titles. Congrats on becoming Norway. It won't last long, because if he dies, it goes to his liege, which will be me. But I'm planning on being dead before that happens anyway. Now, as we can see, this really does mess up our shit. We're at 36 of 21 champions. We're not going to be lowering our armies for a while. We're going to go fill our bags with gold. And even though it doesn't matter nearly as much to go to the Pope right now, we're still going to go to the Pope. He has lots of money in his land. But real quick, before I do, we need to settle on our succession terms. Because right now, we're voting... Miklagard's all we've got. It's all that matters. If I sort by stewardship, this kid's the best. But there's a problem with that. This kid is a legitimized bastard. And if we try to vote for him, we're going to find out that everyone hates him for that. When I go over to electors, do I have anyone I can actually force a vote with? I actually do have a couple people I can force votes on, but they don't have very much voting power. So total, I can get like 4 more votes. But considering that rank 1's at 103, it's not going to matter very much. Everyone's voting for Jarl Anderson anyway. So I guess Gene Seed's getting the throne one way or another. I don't want that. He's way worse than this guy. Because no one's going to vote for the legitimized bastard, there's no point fighting it. However, there should be a lot of very competent women, and I can see if I can drive the vote towards them instead now that they're legitimate. Because now they're actually considered. I have 2 genius sons, and they're both... Oh wait, this one's just a child of a concubine. You're not as good, but you're still great. Let's see if I can get people to vote for him. I need to let time tick by for a second to see how it goes. And all of these people can just pack up and go. We're going to say hi to the Pope. Now, on the chance that I can't actually get in charge of this, I want to find out where... Oh, apparently I haven't unpaused time since reforming the religion. This is basically just saying everyone got together, we all agreed that our religion's the best, but it needed to be improved, and we elected me Filkir. We're going to show everyone just how great Odin is. So sorting by rank, it's nowhere near going through how I want it to. No one's siding with me. Who's voting for you? You're also a kid. I guess I'm just going to accept that we're playing as him. It's fine. Oh, we're playing as him immediately. I didn't even have time to make it to Rome. So, I've died. Filkir Einar of the Asatru Filkirits crossed the door to the world of the spirits, died of old age. He was devoted to the understanding of the human body and mind. At least Eagle, his court position, was. Together they created and inspected quite a few corpses. Sought after by many scholars for his encyclopedic knowledge of nature and humors. What are you talking about? He was a genius, I guess. But I don't feel like he did anything to deserve... Oh wait, he was a physician? I have no idea that I was a physician. When did that happen? I'm deeply confused. Okay, whatever. Probably came about as a result of me being good friends with Eagle forever, but I honestly had no idea that trait was there. Anyway, Gene Seed ascends to the throne. We've made it back around to our starting name. I didn't want to be named Gene Seed ever again, but AI does as AI wants. Pious and humble, many fear that he would have been better suited for a temple than the throne. Good news, I'd combined them. So, Gene Seed started with some points already into the intrigue tree. He's got better dread gain, torturing bonuses, divine retribution, so he's able to torture without penalty. He gets better per stress level? What a terrifying idea. Dread per tyranny gain. That's interesting. Fear tax. That's very funny. I can get Dread Decay minus 1000% forever infamous. That's really cool. And the trait Torturer, just to like make sure I'm always doing Dread stuff. Anyway, we're always starting with Martial. We need to get our Knight power back. Because I'll be leading personally, advantage plus 5 is just worth picking. It's probably worth more than Martial 3. Gonna go ahead and go through with that. I can hold court, not just yet. Available perks. I still have one to put. Dread Decay minus 1000%, obviously. I didn't realize I had a perk to spend. Now, we're going to go down here, we're going to go to this and make myself the commander. Perfect. Now, as you can see, I have 2 counties, that's it. Just those 2 counties, domain size is 6. Hey wife, I noticed you're not good at stewardship, sorry, gotta go. Had a sudden change in character just now. How does polygamy work with multiple wives? Find character, sort by stewardship. Only female, only adults, not rulers, not married. Save filter as a stewardship wife. All right, I've remade the filter in this search because it's far easier to arrange the marriage from here. And it just looks like there aren't very many wives around that are going to be good at stewardship, unfortunately. I don't know how everyone is so terrible at stewardship. 15 is the highest stewardship in the world? What? How? How is this possible? Well, highest woman, I guess, because obviously I'm not saying men for marriage. That's so weird. All right. I don't want someone from off Mecklegard because I don't want inbred kids. There's no one anywhere with genes. All right, I'm gonna have to make this person convert eventually, but for now, you're the best I can do. Now, Norway, you remember when you became a person who mattered? I have to wait a year to get rid of his shit. That's honestly not a big deal, that's fine. My council's a bit messed up, yeah, that's true. So we got a strong vassal with 28 martial, obviously picking him. We got a strong vassal with 20 in espionage, obviously picking him. Sure, even though you're not great at it, you can still have the job because you're a strong vassal. I guess this has to be a rando because there's no one who's strong that's even remotely competent. We have a great chancellor too. I'm gonna have you increase vassal opinion. Gonna have you do religious relations, which is weird because I'm the head of the faith. Worry about taxes because I just don't want to deal with it. Manage the royal guards. And disrupt schemes. The new High King, long live the High King, of course. Alright, you're my wife now, so I can now go back to the council and have you handle specifically the domain, getting us up to 7. I'm gonna start a sway scheme against you because I really need you to stop hating me so much. But I need to see if the Pope's gonna try to fight us. Or if he's gonna see all of our boats off the shore and not care. Or he sees all of our boats. You guys need to go away, be incognito. The Pope is actually just like not coming to defend himself at all, it's kind of weird. Very weird, in fact. There's a dangerous faction, huh? Dissolution, independence. There's a lot of factions. Which is the one that matters? The independence faction, huh? Sweden and Denmark. Alright, look. Apparently I have the Jarldom of Uplands. There seems to be some confusion, because I don't. That's not a reason to dislike me if I don't have the land. Coming over to the Jarldom of Uplands. That doesn't belong to me anymore. Okay, just to get King Roggenwalder to stop being a dick, I have at least one council position that is currently going to a nobody. Look. Oh, you have a 20 in that? Well, I'm sorry, you should obviously be on the council, no wonder you're upset. Hopefully that'll cancel out their little faction. Oh, I'm supposed to marry more people than this. Oh, that guy's not a vassal to the right person, I see. No, you're not gonna go to him anyway. I can declare 34 wars, huh? I'll go ahead and create the Isles and then give them away immediately. Very weird that the Pope's not coming out to stop me. Sort of expected him to. He's got 5,000 men. Your glory is widely known. Not really. Like by some standards, I guess. Yeah, we're just robbing all of the Pope's land. He's not coming out to stop us. It's sort of deeply unsettling. So I do have to spend a year not having this land, apparently. I wish it would tell me how long ago it was granted. I guess I can check history, right? You're the King of Norway. I go to the title history. It was granted on the 2nd of December, so we've got like 7 more months. A little bit rough. Alright, so in the previous sections of the video, I was getting pretty exhausted and I didn't feel like I was properly able to handle the succession. So I stopped for the day, figured I should edit the video and see how much time I had left before I continued on. And it turns out I have another 12 minutes or so to fill, so I continued playing until I finished up dealing with the succession crisis. Unfortunately, sometimes my computer wakes from sleep, OBS only pretends to work, and this time I didn't catch that it wasn't recording my mic and I needed to plug my mic back in to get it to pick it up for some reason. And that means that I have no audio for myself for this last section of gameplay. So I'll be doing post here to quickly summarize everything I've been doing. First and foremost, I went through my vassals and I did a lot to pacify the King of Sweden especially, and also a little bit to the King of Denmark, because he was part of a faction that was very upset with me for having the gall to not be the old ruler. After that, I burned some time just going around and raiding in Italy, because I needed to get some more money and prestige while I waited for December 2nd to declare war and take my land back from the Catholic king who's currently holding it. During this time, I did a lot of juggling with my positions in the court because they kept dying, and I have a bunch of events go up, but none of them are particularly important. The big thing here that happens is I commissioned regalia to be made for me. It turns out not that good. It exists, but it's not good. I'll talk more about it at the start of the next video. Anyway, December comes around, I raise my levies and declare that I'm taking his titles back, and of course the Catholic king wants nothing to do with that, so he goes into civil war and gets crushed pretty handily. The war takes a little bit longer than it should because he's just running around and avoiding me, and my levies are pretty depleted at this point, and they end up taking a lot of damage right at the start when he attacks them and my main army is elsewhere. So it takes like a full year and a half or something to wrap up the war, but at no point am I really struggling with getting my land back. Once I wrap up the war and get all my land back, it's time to go into the business of figuring out what I can hold. I've only got a domain size of 7. I end up giving away my land in Sweden from my previous land, as well as one of the counties that I held as Gene Seed when I first got the throne. I also make and give away some duchies to appropriate rulers in the hopes of getting them further on my side, which ends up not really working because pretty much all of the rulers that I'm trying to sway to my side die like shortly after I do this, which is infuriating because the guys who replace them don't like me because they don't really care that I gave them the titles they have because I gave it to their predecessors who then gave it to them. So it doesn't count for shit to them, and it's deeply frustrating. And then to wrap up the video, I decided to hold court. Nothing particularly important happens. I went on pilgrimage. It was the same pilgrimage events I got the first time I went, which was really unsettling for me. And all told, the rest of this video, being told in so much shorter a time now, was essentially I raided until I was able to revoke the titles, I revoked the titles, crushed them in a war, got my land back, gave away some of it because my domain's only 7 right now. And then I went to the tedious business of running a country for a little while, which went mostly according to plan. And now at the end of the video, we have 36-year-old Jarl Gene Seed, 7 counties to his name, all fully upgraded, and we're wondering what to do with all of our abilities in our lifetime. Holy Wars, Subjugations, Kingdom Conquest, and we just need to do a whole lot of raiding and pillaging along the way. Anyways, I'm sorry for speeding through the end of this video, sorry for the post-commentary, but I don't have it in me to replay all of this because it is a fairly mundane sort of thing that we're doing here. Anyway, sorry for speeding through the last 30 minutes of gameplay in this video and post-commentary. I just don't have it in me to replay that last bit of gameplay. It is what it is. Anyways, I hope you liked the video in spite of that, and I'll see you in the next one, where we're going to see what Jarl Gene Seed does. Actually, not Jarl anymore, not even High King, what Filker Gene Seed does with the rest of his reign. He's got a long life ahead of him.